first off we have Rosie. Honestly, I love this character in the shows. She was so lovely and entertaining. She has such a fun mum vibe energy, and I really wanted to give her the ghost typing in this. I felt like Cannibal / Cannibal Town just has this like kind of eerie vibe about it. Like it's friendly, but it's eerily too friendly, kind of like what's happening underneath. Like I wanted to give this Pokemon design a welcoming kind of look from afar, but then you get up close and you see, oh okay, it's actually kind of spooky. So I felt like going with a ghost type, but this would be really fun to do that off. Anyway, my creative process. I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to give her a ghost vibe. I wanted to keep her humanoid. I wanted to keep her feminine. I toyed with the idea of just giving her a basic dress, and then I decided no, I wanted the dress to end in a ghost kind of wispy flame like the hat has done in this design. I end up giving her a broken heart on the chest. I end up ending the long, sharp, knife-like hands in wisps as well. I love this in characters when they've got like knife hands or like really pointy knife feet, or like that kind of pinpoint kind of design is something I really like, and I wanted to give that to her to show like she's beautiful and she's stunning and powerful, but this bitch can stab. Like, you don't want to fuck with this Pokemon. It can absolutely tear you a new one. You don't want to fuck with her. But if you get on her good side and you're nice to her, she'll be really sweet, she'll be nurturing, she'll be protective. That is the kind of vibe I wanted to go for. I go in with colors that are loosely kind of similar to what she has in her show design. The colors do end up changing in the final design, I will say. I was not happy with the red in the hat and the tail and arms, like the ghostly wisp colors. I wasn't happy with red being a part of that. At first I was thinking I want to tie it into her show design a bit more, and I want to have it look almost kind of reminiscent of blood, especially with the drips in the hat. But in the end I decided I just didn't like this color combination and I wanted to do something quite different with it. I kept what I could, but at the end of the day, these designs are not meant to be like a one-for-one recreation. If it was, I would just fucking flip the image, slap a type on it, go, oh cool, it's now a Pokemon. These are meant to be inspirations. Like some of them look quite similar, some of them look quite different. Alright, here she is, our beautiful beloved Overlord Rosie. Let's see what she would look like if she was a pocket monster. This is Carnivale, the ghost type Pokemon. Carnivale are strong leaders, often taking on strong opponents. They are aggressive hunters, often stalking their prey in the dead of night. Carnivale are fond of hunting others of their own kind. I feel like Rosie really fits the ghost type personally. I am all for this design. I feel like it's spooky and it's strong and it's also still really feminine. I feel like it ties in quite well to her character. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. What do you guys think of Carnivale? Alright, next up is Zestial. Now this character, I really love them. Honestly, one of my favorite names in the show too, Zestial. It's like Zesty Celestial. I love Zesty Celestial. Zestial, fucking top quality name, and I wish we got to see more of them in season 1. Frankly, I wish we got to see more of all of the Overlords in season 1. Unfortunately, we didn't get to past the one episode he kind of showed up in. He didn't really appear again. I hope in the next season we get to see more of Zestial and the other Overlords. I would love to dive more into their personalities and their abilities, but so far from what I've seen, both Zestial and Missy Zilla are two of my favorites, and I'm dying to see more of them. So with this Pokemon design, because I don't know too much about Zestial, I wasn't sure exactly of what to do aside from take inspiration from his physical design and just be aware that he is meant to be spider inspired. So for this I was thinking, okay, so he looks really monster-esque, he looks really spooky, he's meant to be a spider. I didn't want to go with just a basic bug form. I wanted to be more inspired by his physical design. So I was thinking like, what if Darkrai was a bug? As well as making him a bug and ghost type. I thought of which one I wanted to be primary, and I eventually decided on I wanted Ghost to be the primary type. I wanted to keep how slender and tall he was. I wanted to keep the cape wing thing in his design that he has got going on. I made the end of his cape wings wisps, because a ghost Pokemon and wisps go great together and you can't tell me otherwise. Instead of hiding his slender skinny arms under his wing cloak, I decided I want to go a different path. I want to give him big fuck off grippers, and I wanted to give him a lantern because I just went with the vibe of what I was inspired by, so bitch gets a lantern. The design that he has on his chest, you can see I put it on his head. Instead, I didn't want to put a hat on this Pokemon design. I just didn't really feel like it fit for the vision I was going for, so we ditched the hat. We've moved the chest thing to the head. I put something else on his chest that looks like a cute little spider. I went with very similar colors to his show design, a little bit more saturated than what he has in the show. I wanted to show off color a tiny bit more with his design. I am really in love with the combination of this like electric yellow green tone and this like really saturated like red pink kind of color. I love this in his design. This also shows up in Missy Zilla, whom I'm also like fucking super obsessed with design wise. Okay, here he is, our big bad old fucking grandpa motherfucker. I love this dude. Look at him, isn't he fucking cool? Fuck, this cunt is so tall. Look at him. Holy shit. So here's him as a fucking Pokemon, eh? This is Gulava, the ghost and bug type. Gulava are mysterious, rare Pokemon. Not much is known about them, although it is said that they help guide lost souls with their spirit lanterns. They are able to unleash fast and powerful attacks with ease, then disappear into the shadows. Again, I have no fucking idea what his powers are or his backstory is, so all I can go off of is what I saw of him in that one fucking episode that he shows up, and what was in the wiki that I found. The wiki wasn't really as helpful as I was hoping, because it did have like clearly someone had edited it and put in like info about their OC in it, and I'm like, bitch, I see you trying to pass your OC as a canon character. Absolutely not falling for that shit. Get fucked, twat. Anyway, I did what I could with this design. Honestly, for once I'm going to admit it, this is not one of my favorite designs. I still like it, though I will admit it's not my favorite. Ironically, my favorite part is the big fuck off grippers. I want them to grab me. What do you guys think of Gulava? Next up is our Next up is our badass bitch, the weapon queen, Carmilla Carmine. Now, this design is probably the most different from their show design, because with this, I get such a strong independent woman vibe, but I also get this is a strong mum vibe, and I wanted to reflect that with a grass type. Grass type in the Pokemon universe is usually seen as a caring, nurturing, motherly kind of type. They're often depicted as really kind, sweet Pokemon, and they can often be bad bitches. I don't know if anyone has seen the Pokemon anime, but I love the Pokemon anime. There's a particular Pokemon that Ash has in the Black and White series that I just love. It has a badass bitch attitude, and it's still loving and caring. It's Ash's Snivy. Snivy isn't really one of my favorite Pokemon, but this particular Snivy in the anime, I love them, and I was quite inspired by that particular character's personality as well when doing this design. I feel like grass type actually fits her quite well when you look at it. The design is very different from what she is in the show though. But again, like I said, this isn't a one-to-one recreation. If it was, it would be fucking boring. I was going with leaves, I was going with flower petal designs. I kept the swirl in her hair. I kept the hair style that she has where she puts it up instead of wrapped up with ribbons. I've decided, okay, they're vines with little buds on them, little tiny fruits or berries. I decided her eye mask design that she has, I wanted to put that in, and I wanted to extend it. I wanted to put flower buds on that. Honestly, I just went with the vibe of what I was going for with this design. I love what I came up with, even though, yes, it is vastly different. I was quite inspired by a fair few different things with this design, and I am happy with it in the end of the day. The colors are very different. I don't feel like I could convey what I wanted to with grey, black, and white, so most of those colors go out the window. Sorry about it, I know it's different, but it's what I did. It does change from this version to the final design. You can see when I'm doing the colors that I do play with different whites, with different tones of pinks, with green, and then at the end I do change it up a fair bit with the final design, but I just don't feel like grey and black is fitting for the grass type that I was so determined to go with for this particular character. And here is our badass mama bear, Carmilla Carmine. Now let's take a look at her final Pokemon design. This is Carnacia, the grass and steel type. This powerful Pokemon is protective and loyal to its trainer and allies. It will fight to protect them with fast dancer-like movements. It moves graceful and swift. It is not to be underestimated in battle. Now, I know what you're thinking. Steel type, what the fuck's that about? So she is the top weapons dealer in Hell. I feel like steel type would tie into that very well with a lot of weapons being made out of metal. I wanted to include that in her design. You can see her body, I do end up making that dark grey, and I do feel like, yes, that also kind of slightly ties into the steel type as well. What do you guys think of Carnacia? Alrighty, last but not least, we have my favorite Overlord. Aside from Alistair, of course, Missy Zilla. I adore this character design. When I saw her in the pilot, I immediately was like, pause, okay, who the fuck is this cool badass bitch in the background? Little did I know she turned out to be a fucking Overlord. I thought she was just a cool background character, and I am so stoked to see that she's actually an Overlord, and I wish there was more of her in season 1. I am praying to the fucking demons below that be that she shows up in season 2 and we get more of her. I adore her design in every fucking aspect. So with this Pokemon design, I immediately had an image in my head. I wanted to make a fast, speedy raptor design. Now, it doesn't really translate in the image. When I say this Pokemon is massive, I am telling you, this Pokemon is massive. Maybe it's one of the biggest Pokemon there are. Maybe it's even bigger than fucking Wailord. Well, probably not that big. But this Pokemon is big. I see it as being a very large Pokemon. Like she is in the show. She is Missy Zilla. Pretty sure that's short for Godzilla because she's really fucking big. So I wanted to keep that in the design, although like you can't really tell size by just an image of one thing. I'm telling you now, this bitch big. I wanted to keep her stripes in her design. I wanted to keep her fun hair design, although I did change it to a more mohawk look for this concept. With her feet and her legs, I was thinking the bird raptor kind of design, which is also why I put the feathers on the ends of the arms as well. I love the concept of raptors being bird-like and not just 100% reptile-like, so I did want to include some of those aspects. I keep the pink and the kind of yellowy green colors in her design. Like I said earlier, I am so in love with this color combination lately, and I do play around with it a few different tones of green, but I decide that I don't want to use the darker tone of green. I just want to stick with the like electric green that she has in her design. With the dull like red, pink, wine kind of colors, I do keep them in this design as well. I also do end up bringing in the cheek spots that she has in her show design. I think the part where it mainly differs apart from the physical form itself with the colors, they do look different in the legs and the tail, especially because I don't add in the dark green, and the stripes on the tail I end up making pink because I feel like if I made them green it would blend in too much with the mane slash back fur hair that she has. And with the feet slash legs, I do end up breaking the green up. I try a few different ideas and I do end up breaking it up with just the middle section being pink. This bitch, this is Missy Zilla. Look at her design and tell me that she is not one of the coolest fucking character designs you've ever seen. Because if you tell me she's not, I'm sorry, your opinion's fucking wrong. I fucking adore this design. This is a 10 out of fucking 10 for me. Let's see what this bad bitch looks like as a Pokemon. Alrighty, this is Raptorol, the dragon and poison type. This gigantic beast towers over most other Pokemon. It may be big, but it is just as fast. With powerful physical attacks, it can wipe out whole teams with little trouble. I love this design, and I'm really personally happy with the typing. Dragon is self-explanatory. Dinosaur, big lizard creature, easily translates into dragon type. Plus, super fucking strong. I really feel like that suits her well. The poison type, I feel like poison is such a fun, exotic typing. I wanted to include that on her. I feel like it ties into her physical design quite well with the purples and the pinks. Poison is intoxicating, and I feel like her design and her personality is probably going to come across as quite fun-loving and quite intoxicating, so I felt like the poison type would fit in well with what she seems like she's going to be. So honestly, this is my favorite design. What do you guys think of Raptorol?